Hello, everybody. Welcome to the second edition of What Happens Next. This is a series where we speak to several people in the arts, be it arts managers, artists, arts practitioners, funders, marketing experts, in a quest to understand the future trends and see where we are all headed. I'm Pranathi Ram, and I'm a program coordinator at SNS Arts Development Consultancy. I'm also a Bharathanatyam dancer. Today we have a very special guest. She is a Bharathanatyam dancer whom everybody in the dance fraternity would have heard of. She's a sensation. There's even a documentary about her. You might have watched it. Yes. Our guest for today is Harinie Jeevitha. Hello, Harinie. How are you, Harinie?
Yeah. Hi, Pranathi. So, I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm fine. How is it going? How has the lockdown been for you?
Uh, okay, so this lockdown is a very new experience for me. Firstly, because, for all of us, we've not been able to step out of the house much. And secondly, and most importantly for me, it's very new because I've been forced into this period of physical rest for some reasons. So it all feels very new to me, but it's been a wonderful learning experience, I should say. Because, when we say the word lockdown, it kind of feels very restricted and we have a very constricted image in our minds. But yeah, it is true that we are bound in certain ways. But I personally feel that ironically, this lockdown has been opening up a lot of windows for most of us, or at least for artists, especially, I would say. And for me, it's like a period of thinking, analyzing, and speculating a lot of things. So I'm really enjoying this learning phase of my life. And if you ask me what I do on a daily basis in the lockdown, which I usually don't do on other days, is I'm getting some time to read books which have been left untouched for a long time in my shelves, and I'm trying to be with nature as much as possible, and I feel privileged to be able to look at the sunset these days because that's usually the time when we are in dance class and we don't get to notice the sunset and all that. So I kind of feel um, I feel that it's nature itself is a beautiful teacher. So I'm trying to spend as much time as possible with nature, and we play some board games at home, and I'm taking some rest. So yeah, these kind of phases just bring us more closer to the art, and I feel that it kind of enables a more profound understanding of our relationship with the art. So this is one of the
Definitely.
most beautiful learning experiences.
Certainly. Sometimes we need it, right? As artists, we just need to take a step back and reflect. And it's wonderful that you're using this time to reflect and get closer to the art.
Mm.
So, is this how a typical day of the sensation Harinie Jeevitha looks like during the lockdown?
Okay, so yeah, I'm no sensation, but yeah, this is how I've been spending my days.
That's wonderful, Harini. Coming to the main part of the conversation, since we are here to talk about the future of the arts, let me just delve right in.
Mm.
What were your plans for the future before the lockdown versus your plans after the lockdown, now with the pandemic, how have things changed for you? How does the future look like for you?
Um, okay, so if I have to talk from the voice of Sridevi and Nrithyalaya, I would say that we usually don't tend to plan anything for the future. We, take it as it comes. We go with the flow. And if you ask us about this period, of course, we did have a few performances lined up for this period and some workshops and even some abroad tours. But of course, they got cancelled inevitably. But there is no, feeling upset or anything about it because the most important lessons uh, this lockdown period is teaching me personally is to just accept things, accept things as they come, and be in the present. So, which is I feel quite ironical to the title of the interview, "What Happens Next." So, it is best, I feel, to not think about what is happening next, because if you just give uh, the present whatever it needs, if you give the now what it needs, the future will just fall in place. That's what I think.
That's a very interesting perspective, Harini, to think of the future in terms of the present.
Mm.
That's something that I should also think about. So, during this lockdown, have you? So, I understand that you're also a choreographer, right? You have worked on some choreographies before. I
No, I feel that a choreographer is too big a term because I'm just taking my baby steps. There is a long way to go, and um, so yeah. You're asking me if I've been choreographing anything new in this.
coming
Okay.
in the lockdown. Have you been conceiving any new ideas? Thinking of something to work on, maybe post lockdown? Just any ideas sprouting in your mind?
Okay. Okay. In my understanding, I feel that choreography is a long-term process. So even if we choreograph a piece in a very short span of time, I'm sure that there is a long thought process that goes behind it, whether we admit it or not. So it is quite a long process, the idea of choreography itself. And um, for for us to do any piece of creativity or to do any creative work of art, I feel that the first um, requisite is to observe things. So observe things around us, inside us, and just whatever is possible. And also, there is one thing that I like to believe in. When we say that, we choreographed a piece or we wrote a piece of poetry or whatever creative work that we did, we are not exactly the inventors of that piece of creativity. We are just discoverers. Because I feel that, those creative ideas or those works of choreographies are already there in the air. So we just have to be receptive. We have to be alert to make them fall into our hands. So this uh, period, I would say, is just giving me the time to just remain as I am and try to be observant and try to be receptive. So I feel that these observations might or might not result in a choreography later.
That's wonderful, Harni. I completely agree. In fact, a lot of our, as when it comes to choreography, I I think that we are mere assemblers, right? Is that what you're trying to say? We
Yeah.
observe and we assemble it together in a way that it is appealing to oneself and the audience, if any, right? That's very very interesting, Harini. Coming to choreography, and you had also mentioned Sridevi Nrithyalaya. So Sridevi Nrithyalaya is extremely popular for their group productions. Now with the lockdown and the pandemic, if artists can't meet and practice and rehearse, how do you see this affecting your productions, your future productions?
I just hope that things will get better very soon. And if I am to talk about the group productions, I feel that, yeah, as you say, group productions are even more a complicated process than working individually because it demands a lot of working together. And for us, for our group productions, it's usually a larger number. And one interesting thing is that we don't hire dancers from outside. It's just our students with whom we do the productions. So yeah, one major part of staging a group performance or a production is that we have to, sit and practice together and all that. But I feel that, that's not the end of it. There has to be something extra. So for us, I feel that we are more or less like a family because yeah, they're almost together always. So I feel that energy or that synergy between us will make the things easier and smoother.
Kandipa, absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
there is no cohesion between any team, right? You work as a team, as a family, and that really shows on stage, even on the videos which I watch, a lot of us watch on YouTube, you can see that sync, that synergy that you say. Very nice. So now going forward, do you think that you can work on new group productions online, say on Zoom like this, or on a video call, or just work on new online group productions, or choreograph something even?
Okay. I think to be honest, if my teacher thinks it is possible, then she will make it happen. Okay. But we're not very keen about this online classes or, somehow that doesn't work as effectively as, um, the personal space in which we all sit and practice. So somehow we are not going into all that currently. But as I said earlier, once things come back to normal, I'm sure that we'll be able to come back to, from where we left, and we'll be able to move forward very effectively. I hope so.
Definitely. And I'm sure also once things get better, whenever it does, there'll certainly be a stronger bond between all of you, right? Because absence truly makes the heart grow fonder.
Yeah, it makes you
So,
feel the importance of the presence of that.
certainly, certainly. Speaking about online and online working together online, one of the reasons we are not doing this live on Facebook or Instagram is because you're not on either. So, what made you take this, you know, social media hiatus? Do you think things will change now with the lockdown and everything?
Okay. See, social media is undoubtedly a wonderful platform um, to stay connected and to share our works, to share our experiences and memories and all that. Um, but I feel that social media somehow it shows only a limited version of the artist because right from taking a small photo or to posting a video of one of our works, we usually tend, I know I don't want to be generalizing, but usually we tend to project only the best of whatever we have on social media, which is general human tendency. And what happens is sometimes that becomes a very limited version of the artist, because there is so much beyond what is there on social media. That's what I feel. There is so much more uh, goodness or good attributes, and there are so many more flaws or imperfections. I would use that word for the lack of a better word, to an artist, which I feel completes the artist. There is no artist without his or her imperfections, and all that adds up to the beauty of the artist. That is what I feel. And somehow social media limits that side of the artist sometimes. And again, not to be generalizing, sometimes we tend to make a rat race out of our art forms on social media, which I feel is certainly not the purpose of our arts. So, yes, as I said, social media is definitely a healthy platform as long as we make proper use of it, as long as we don't indulge in the rat race, and as long as we don't rely completely on the number of followers or the likes and all that, and as long as we give priority to the art more than the artist.
Absolutely, Harini. I agree with you when you say that sometimes, me included, we get carried away by the pompous nature of social media as an entity, right? But
And
like you said,
also, I'm sorry, no, I just wanted to add a
no
point here.
problem.
No, what happens is we get a lot of inspiration from social media, which is absolutely uh, a very good, sign. But we shouldn't go to the extent of idolizing someone, and we should know, we should learn to take the goodness from it and just apply it to our daily practice.
Definitely, we should. I agree with you in the fact that we should take inspiration from where we can and make it our own, so that
Mm,
there's honesty in it.
mm,
Absolutely. And like you said, the art is greater than the artist.
mm,
I heard Aladmel Valli Akka say that a few years ago,
mm.
and it is just stuck on to me. And I think that's what you were also implying.
Yes,
So
it's
that's uh, that's great, Harini. Again, coming to social media and online platforms, um, and also Sridevi Nrithyalaya, have
mm,
you been taking any online classes? How has
um,
it been?
okay. So usually we don't take online classes because because of all the practical difficulties and all that. But of course, during this time we have no other go. But this is quite a different way of taking the virtual classes, which my teacher, she came up with this idea. While taking the online classes, what happens is there is a lot of lag and all that, right? So what we do is we ask the students to send us snippets of their everyday practice. So they send us every day, and we tell them corrections in that particular adavar or a part of the item which they send. So they practice that and show us the next day, and that's how it works. And it's been going on, from the time the lockdown started. And I should say that the students are able to show some consistent improvement, and they're also realizing the importance of everyday practice. So it's been working good.
That's, I'm glad. That's actually a fantastic idea because
Mm,
you also see the improvement, right? The proof is
mm,
in the, what's that saying? The proof is in the cream of the pudding. I don't know. I've forgotten the actual saying. But like you said, that's a great idea because even for me, if I need to take a class, attend a class with my guru, there's a lot of lag, like you said, right? So when
mm,
she sings, I adjust my rhythm to her singing, and she adjusts her rhythm to my dancing, which is already
mhm.
lagging by a couple of
Yeah.
seconds. So then by the end of it, both of us know that it didn't sync, and your rhythm was completely off, but you just go with it because you have no other way of doing it. And
True.
even with the way that the method which you're using for your corrections, that helps a lot because you can slow down to 1 second and tell them exactly where the correction is and how the correction needs to be. Thank you for that input, Harinie. Nice.
No, it was just my
nice.
teacher's spontaneous idea.
Of
She
course.
comes up with many such creative ideas in the spur of a moment. So, yeah.
My humble pranams to Sheela ma'am. I hope she's watching this. She will watch this.
Yeah, she'll definitely watch.
So it's an uncertain time for all of us, Harinie, no doubt. Moving forward into a post-COVID world, whenever that is, what are some of the goals that you want to achieve? It can be very broad, it can be very narrow, but in terms of dance and your career.
Okay. I don't know if this is a broad goal or a narrow goal, but one of my goals is to step into a world where we don't have to wear a mask to walk on the road. And speaking of other goals, as I said, this period is teaching me a lot of beautiful things, and I just want to keep this in mind at all times and abide by it as far as possible. And if you ask me for goals, I would say that I want to be receptive to beauty around me. They say that beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. So if you are unable to see the beauty around you, then I want to tell myself to channelize my eyes to receive the beauty. So there is beauty inevitably everywhere. So it is up to me to look at it and absorb it. And I don't know if I can call this a goal, but I want to stay truthful to my teacher, to the art, and to myself.
So again, you're focusing at the present, and the future will fall into place, like how you said in the beginning of the conversation. That's very nice. That's a wonderful message, actually. So,
it's actually sorry. I mean, it's very easy to say and think, but to put it practically, the use is a very challenging task. So yeah, I'm just reminding myself of it. No, we say that we just have to focus on the present and the future will fall in place, which is very easy to say, but to put it into practice is a challenging task, which I'm trying to remind myself again and again.
Definitely. Absolutely. It's very difficult. Sometimes you just need to step back and see what you're doing right now, right? Only then, when you reflect at what all you have done, then you realize, okay, currently I have done all of this and I'm in an okay place, so, okay, I know that the future is going to fall into place to an extent. But then again, with the lockdown and all of that, that's also a little uncertain, and there's not much all of us can do at this point, but other than think of ways to help us through this situation. So coming to the end of our conversation, since the vibe is quite low right now, there's been loss of pay, canceling of programs, canceling of events, loss of funding. You know how it is, right? Just a basic sad environment all around, right? what would
Mm.
be one message from you for all those dancers and artists who look up to you?
Um, okay, this is something which I like to believe in always. So there are some beliefs which which are true actually, and there are some beliefs which we just like to believe in. But I feel this is both. So hard work never fails. That is something which we all know. Uh, and hard work definitely brings in success. So if your idea of success is to become famous, then it gives you fame. And if your idea of success is to perform a lot of stage performances, then it gives you a lot of opportunities to perform. And if your idea of success is to have a lot of followers on social media, then it also gives that. So, but when you combine hard work with honesty, it gives you the greatest success, which is contentment.
That's beautiful. That's really something that all of us should think about in anything, right? Anything that you
Mm,
do, personal satisfaction is key to happiness during any time, like what you said.
mm.
That's wonderful, and thank you for ending on such a positive note, Harini. Thank you
Thank
once
you,
again.
Pranathi.
Thank you for doing this for us and being a part of What Happens Next series. Certainly, according to you, what happens next depends on the present, and that's a very interesting take on our series by you. Um, Thank you once again. Just quickly to wrap up with this, if any of you have any questions to Harini or myself, Pranathi, then you can reach out to me, Pranathi, on my social media handle, Pranathi Ram, or on Shreya Nagarajan Singh's Instagram or Facebook handles, and we will definitely be in touch with you and respond to you. Thank you again. Thank you, Harini, once again.
Thank you, Pranathi. Thank you.